What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dffoo Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And in this video we're going to be going through the Beach Batch 2 EX Plus fight. And just like with my older event videos, this is just going to be me talking while the video is going, and to tell you guys, well, to talk to you guys about my thoughts on the fight, and of course some strategies that I felt like really helped me clearing this fight. Now first of all, I do want to apologize that this video is late. I was gonna upload this yesterday, however I had a little accident and I had to go to the doctor's and put some stitches and so forgive me if I do wince every now and then because it is still quite painful, but without further ado, let's go ahead with this video. So in this first video that I'm showing you guys, my team consists of Rinoa, Lena, and Lulu, and with a Rinoa support. Now ideally this would be your team. Lulu can be replaced by someone else, another DPS, depending on who you want to bring in. I just brought Lulu in because she's one of the synergy characters in this fight, but Lulu is pretty much replaceable here, and so is Rinoa for all intents and purposes. The one that you don't really want to replace is Lena. Lena is going to be the MVP of this fight. Now obviously if you have another healer slash brave battery, then you can technically replace Lena, but the fight just gets more difficult with that. So I feel like Lena is probably the better choice to leave in your team. Now obviously if you don't have her 35 or her EX weapon, then obviously you will have to find someone else. And the top of my head is just Eiko and Selfie as probably one of the my other choices, but that's all going to depend on you. Now let's talk about the fight. So the first wave is the Iron Worms, as you guys saw earlier. Basically they will do a lot of HP attacks and all you have to do is survive. That's why you want a healer in your team. So basically they will keep using the gravity spin, and all you have to do really is heal through it. Now the gravity spin HP damage depends on the amount of HP overall what is left in your team. So technically you won't die pretty fast on it, because if your HP is lower, then the HP damage is obviously going to be lower. But the catch is all your different party members have a different maximum HP, so eventually one of them will die if you don't heal through. But other than that, there's nothing else to worry about those Iron Worms, unless they do their melee AoE brave attack, which if you don't have brave and you get broken, it's pretty much a guaranteed game over, so you might as well restart the fight. So the second wave, as you guys saw, was the Chimera, probably the easiest wave in this fight, to be honest with you guys, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Now the third fight is these three, well, the Commander Beast and two of the his wolf buddies. So this one isn't that troublesome. The Commander Beast, or whatever it's called, does have quite a not a ton, but a decent amount of HP, so you will be using a lot of your abilities here, because you really want to use as much as abilities as you can while retaining some leftover for the final fight, because you only have 50 turns. And honestly, I've seen some people who failed to get the minimum score amount with 46 turns, while I did get mine obviously with this team composition a little bit lower in the turn count. I did manage to clear this fight with a different composition. I pretty much just replace Rinoa with Cloud, which I'll show you guys a little bit later, and I managed to get that 46 turn count and barely just made it to the minimum score. Well, while this fight only requires you to meet the minimum score to get all the rewards. It is still quite difficult to clear this with under 50 turns. So I do believe this is one of the hardest fights that we currently have, especially if you don't have the meta characters that I mentioned, like Lena and Renoa. So I suppose that's it for this wave. We'll talk about the last wave, basically just the 2 behemoths. Now, honestly speaking, I would really kill the King Behemoth here first, because the buff that it does to itself is more dangerous than the other behemoth, which I forgot, is it the Iron Behemoth or something like that? Yeah, so I would target the A boss first, and try to kill it before it buffs itself, and you can just kill the other one whenever, because the other one isn't that scary. And that's pretty much it for the fight itself. So overall, it sounds very simple. It's all bosses that we have faced before, but just the turn count is a bit of a downer, because doing this under 50 turns is a lot of pressure to actually kill as quick as you can, like all the earlier waves. So let's talk about characters that will probably help you clear this fight. I already mentioned Renoa, Lena, and Lulu. There are, well, 2 of them are the meta characters. Renoa definitely is gonna, blitz through this fight if you have her, and of course Lena is the best support character that we have. So other characters, like I mentioned earlier, Cloud as well can do pretty decent in this fight. The sort of 100% paralysis, as long as they don't have elude, is really going to help you here. And of course, doing chase sequences and doing extra HP damage with that is going to help you as well. Now, support wise, I would suggest that you bring Renoa or Golbez or someone really strong. I would say you can do a delay tactic. You can definitely clear this with a delay tactic. However, I don't know if you're gonna meet that 50 turn requirement. So I haven't really tried it myself. I would have if the accident didn't happen. And I felt like I really need to, release this video now, or it's gonna be irrelevant in the next couple of days, really, since we're gonna get Lon and Ren pretty soon. Now, let's talk about another character that I did quickly mention, which is Golbez. I do feel like his DPS is up there. However, I don't know if his longevity will be there for you. He does have 6 and 6 for his abilities, and if you have his EX, obviously, then his longevity will be a lot better. But I'm not sure whether he'll last. So, I mean, I tried him with a different composition, and I ended up, I think, running out of steam later on. But that's probably because of my composition. I'm not 100% sure. So, but he is another choice that you can bring. The next character is going to be Jet, and if you have his EX, by all means bring him, because I feel like he is one of the strongest DPS that we have, especially on single target, especially trying to burn down one of the bosses. Jet Slash hits twice and the overflow is insane, and if you partnered him up with Lulu, it's just an insane amount of damage. So I would recommend Jet with Lulu in your team, and you can definitely clear this with him. If you don't have his EX, you might run out of steam, so just be careful with that. And the next character that I want to talk about is going to be Sephiroth. If you have his EX, by all means bring him. He's an insane DPS at the moment. I actually don't have his EX, so that's why you don't see me trying with Jet and Sephiroth. I feel like they will run out of steam if you don't end up paying attention too much. And obviously the longevity of the fight and the insane amount of damage that they can bring as well is something that with their EX obviously is something that you can't ignore, because those extra damage and those extra turns that you don't use your normal abilities do add up, especially if you have a limited number of turn counts. Now, who else do I feel like will benefit from this fight? Honestly, it's a very limited pool of characters. I feel like Thancred can still do pretty well, and of course Bartz can do pretty well here as well. He is a good brave battery and does do a decent amount of HP damage as well, especially with his missile. And I have seen some people actually use Sid here as well. While I don't know how well he will do, at least he can like regain his HP. And I suppose if you have his EX, that's the only time you would actually bring him. If you don't have his EX, I think you would probably avoid using him here. Now the other character that I feel like is going to be a little bit niche is going to be Kefka. Obviously if you have Kefka, you won't have to worry about all these HP damage much, and plus he's a debuffer, which is going to help your team do an insane amount of damage against the waves that you're about to fight. Now who else do I feel like? Unfortunately with Kuja, I tried Kuja. He just doesn't hit as hard as everyone else. Unfortunately, I think it's about time he is running out of steam, at least for this event anyway. I'm not sure how he'll do with Lun and Ren's event, so yeah, I'll keep him back there for now in this particular fight. Oh, and how can I forget? Obviously Tidus will definitely help you out here. He does an insane amount of group HP damage, just like sort of like Firion with his EX. It's 100% HP damage all across the board. So either Firion or Tidus, I do believe Tidus is probably the better choice in this particular fight because he is a synergy character. And as for the final character that I would recommend, it's going to be Lightning and a Quistis as well. So I'm not 100% sure how Lightning will do here, but I suppose if you have Lena, you can definitely bring Lightning. Her delay plus a Quistis delay is gonna be really great. The only problem with that team composition is obviously you don't have an AoE, so I would really suggest that if you're planning to bring Lightning, then you probably want another AoEer in your team, like say Lightning, Lena, plus an AoEer like I suppose Golbez or Rinoa in this case. Both of them are pretty good. Lightning is still carry herself, unfortunately. Other characters will have to do most of the carrying, even though Lightning's my favorite character, and she can do pretty well, and she is quite limited in her single target attacks, and plus, you know, I mean, if you have her EX, you have that extra turn, so that's okay, and that doesn't add to the turn count. So it's, yeah, she's a bit of a niche right now, as much as I hate to say it, but I think that's it. Those are the characters that I would recommend bringing in this fight. Otherwise, yeah. Oh, one other character some people brought is Barret. I saw in the Call to Arms someone actually used Barret, and you know, that I thought that was pretty interesting. So I will leave in the comments, I will leave in the description box of the Call to Arms of different, like, you know, like team compositions that people have used. So, you know, don't take what I say for granted, I suppose. So there are other characters that people have used and ended up working out with them, for them. And just like this one, Barrett is pretty decent. You can still use Agrias. I believe she's still pretty good. Some people use Kate Sith instead of other healers. So yeah, it's really going to be up to you guys. But I just want to list down some of the characters that I feel that helped me and would make this fight super easier than it should be. And I think that I'll end the video right here. I will go ahead and skip to the end of this fight, and so you guys can see that I actually beat this with Cloud. And yeah, remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. As always, I'd like to hear from you guys what you think of this fight. Did you have a difficult time with this fight? And hoping that I helped you guys. Leaving down in the comments below which team you use as well. And remember to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter if you want to see or hear from me, or you can, if you have any questions, you can directly DM me there. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.